first breakdown that we're going to go over is what I call a chop and a drive. So right off the whistle, I'm going to bump, just like I was doing. I'm going to bump here. Now I'm going to chop this arm. When I chop, it's not going to call a pull and drive. I'm actually chopping. Okay, I'm going to come here right at the break of his elbow, and I'm going to crack that hard, okay, with my hand. All right, so I'm bumping right off the whistle. I'm coming in here, I'm bumping, and I'm chopping hard here, really hard, and then I'm continuing to drive. Chop and drive, I'm going to continue to drive him forward. So as I chop this arm, it's not going to be just enough to chop the arm in and bring it in here, because that's not going to bring him all the way in, and that's not going to break him down to the mat. What's going to break him down to the mat is I bump in here, I chop, but at the same time, I continue to drive his weight forward over the arm or the post that I just took away. So it's got to be a combination both at the same time of a chop and a drive, so I'm driving him over the post that I just took away. Okay? The other thing that I'm doing is my back knees and my hips have to make sure that they stay in tight and they keep driving through. So as I hit this bump and then I go and I chop and I'm driving, it's got to be drive, 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 drive with my legs. Okay? It can't just be one, it's not just going to be a bump and then a chop and drive and then he's broken down. I got to keep them legs and my hips glued and driving in right to there until he gets flat to the mat. Now when I chop a guy, what I'm looking for is a wrist. As I bump here and I chop and I'm chopping his arm underneath and I'm driving it to him, I want to chop this arm underneath. I'm looking for a wrist right here. Most specifically, in general, I guess, what I'm trying to do is get him flat to the mat. But as he's going flat, it's going to favor me a lot from a turning point of view, as if I bump and I chop and I'm driving, as if I can finish with the wrist right to here. Okay? That will help me an awful lot to go into some turns later. One time it'll do it a little bit faster pace now so you can see it kind of from the top. Do it again. Notice how my hips and my knees keep driving in, following through. Okay? I got that initial bump, I'm chopping hard on that arm, and I'm driving him forward over that, but it's not one long, I'm just laying kind of flat and leaning into him. It's constantly, my hips and my legs are tight into him. I'm driving off my toes into him. Notice where my knee lands and ends up every time, right up into his butt, right there every time, because that's where I'm driving, and that's where I want to keep him, is flat to the mat. I don't want to break him down and then release my pressure and allow him to build his base right back up. I want to keep that pressure down into him, right to here, and then we can start working on some turns.